Hey everybody, welcome to a hot day in Washington Heights. We're really excited for our concert on Saturday, May 20th at 3 o'clock. I hope you can make it. It's going to be really great. The opener we're playing at the concert is a piece that I wrote called From This Elevation. And I wanted to take a minute and play a little bit for you, give you a sneak peek and explain some of the composition. And hopefully you'll have a really great first listen to it on Saturday. The title is a little bit of a reflection of living in the Heights. It's the first orchestra piece that I wrote while living entirely here. And there's a thread that runs through it that is this bass line reminiscent of Latin jazz called a tumbao. It's something you'll hear walking around the neighborhood. It's in Afro-Cuban music and Dominican music. And that thread kind of runs throughout the piece. But also the title From This Elevation is kind of reflecting trying to find a sort of higher state of being or catharsis, perhaps. It's a theme that comes out a lot in my music. So the tumbao, if you don't know what that is the syncopated bass line that sounds something like this. Where the bass note comes before the beat. So you've probably heard this in Latin music, and so you might hear something like this. Something like that. And so that boom, ding, boom, bing, boom, bing, boom, kind of permeates the piece in sometimes obvious ways and sometimes subtle ways, just kind of part of the DNA. So the piece opens up with this big unison F sharp throughout the orchestra, playing this ba-da, this kind of big fortissimo, kind of heralding rhythm. And then there's this long scale that starts in the cello and bass and goes all the way up to the piccolo. And the idea, again, From This Elevation is the piece is kind of constantly coming back to this place of climbing up, which you'll hear. So it starts like this. Down to this, settles into a place, and then there's this kind of gypsy violin solo. And then it rounds out a little bit. Comes back to that original chord. So that first violin solo is again kind of drawing from the rhythm and language of more syncopated Latin jazz. And then that tumbao idea comes in. Something a little more romantic here. Then it returns to that original sort of half-diminished color, and that scale idea of going up comes back with that opening theme. And that sort of builds up to another big chord, and then a trumpet solo. Cellos. And it sort of thins out and then goes into this this second theme, which I introduce it sort of in a darker form, and eventually it brightens up. So here's what you first hear: this octave jump, da-do-dee-da-da-da, this. And so that's all actually happens in the string quartet the first time. And so you hear that there's a lot of sort of before the bop 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 beep beep bop bop beep beep bop bop beep, this sort of almost galloping kind of rhythm that comes out. Around again, and now it comes back in its sort of a little bit transformed state in a woodwind solo. So we have the flute picks up the scale, and so that's that. And the clarinet accompanies in the beginning, and there's this little rhythm that I try to seed, this little pattern that's coming back. We've actually already heard it once, but I'll point it out to you. This we're going to eventually hear as this kind of closing theme. That pattern sort of works its way in. Anyway. And then there's that sort of 7 pattern again. Sort of tune bow thing again. So this has kind of fully sort of blossomed into what it was intended to be. We started this very dark sort of thing, but now it's this. The full orchestra plays this sort of triumphant. And it kind of goes on from there. Eventually, then this little more music happens. I won't ruin the whole piece here for you, but we have this little 4-note, or actually 5-note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing comes out, and it just the orchestra kind of vamps on this for a while. But then in the clarinet, that scale idea from the beginning comes back. And then suddenly everything kind of breaks, and the piccolo has the tune bow rhythm. And it kind of descends through the winds. And then bassoon solo. And then we go into this this kind of middle theme that's a little bit different from everything else. Strings take it over. And then some themes start coming back. The trumpet has that. So we start kind of heading toward this development section where everything's going to kind of go into a crucible, and all the motifs are going to get kind of cooked up and rearranged. So that kind of gets rearranged here. And then our new theme if it was in 3, kind of comes back, but in the tune bow rhythm. So when everything kind of opens up, and then the tune bow thing comes back and then leads us really into this kind of development section where everything gets cooked up and we start out with a horn solo. So all of a sudden we start hearing those little interjections of kind of go through it. So you won't believe what happens next. I won't spoil the rest of it, but I just wanted to show you a couple of themes and kind of how they start playing out, so it gives you an idea of what to listen for on Saturday. The orchestra is doing a great job, and our soloist, violinist Coco Mi, is doing a fabulous job with the Sibelius Violin Concerto. So I hope you'll come and hear my piece and hear the Sibelius, and also stick around for the Mendelssohn Italian. It's going to be a great concert. So thank you so much for watching and checking out my music. And thank you to all of you who have supported us this season and supported us in the last couple weeks during our spring friend drive. Your support makes all the difference in making this great music accessible and making it happen here in our community. So thanks so much, and hope to see you on the 20th.